Welcome to Wisdom Life. Today, we're diving into a topic that is not just crucial but transformative: critical thinking mastery. In a world brimming with information and decisions, mastering critical thinking is the key to unlocking your ultimate personal growth. Whether you're a student grappling with complex assignments, a professional facing tough choices, or someone seeking to enhance their everyday decision-making, this video is for you. Together, we'll explore how to sharpen your mind, navigate challenges, and make smarter choices. So let's embark on this journey to transform your mindset and elevate your life. Imagine this: you're at a crossroads, facing a significant decision. The pressure is mounting, and you're unsure which path to take. Or perhaps you're overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information available, struggling to discern what's truly valuable. These are common struggles, and they can be incredibly daunting. But what if I told you that you have the power to navigate these challenges with confidence and clarity? That's the promise of critical thinking. As the renowned philosopher Socrates once said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Today, we'll examine how to live a life enriched by thoughtful, deliberate, and effective decision-making. By the end of this video, you'll have practical tools and insights to enhance your critical thinking skills. You'll learn how to break down complex problems, evaluate information objectively, and make decisions that align with your values and goals. So, whether you're aiming to ace your next exam, lead a team to success, or simply make better choices in your daily life, stay tuned. Let's dive in and unlock the power of critical thinking together. Part 1: Introduction to Critical Thinking. Alright, let's dive right in. The first thing we need to understand is what critical thinking really is. Now, you might think it's just about being smart or having a quick mind, but it's so much more than that. Critical thinking is the art of making well-informed decisions. It's about analyzing, evaluating, and synthesizing information in a way that leads to clear and objective conclusions. Importance of critical thinking. Why is this so important? Well, as the great philosopher John Dewey once said, we do not learn from experience. We learn from reflecting on experience. In our daily lives, we are constantly bombarded with information and choices. Without critical thinking, it's easy to get overwhelmed and make decisions based on incomplete or biased information. But with critical thinking, you can navigate through the noise and make choices that truly align with your goals and values. Analyzing, evaluating, and synthesizing. Let's break it down. First, analysis. This is where you take a problem or a piece of information and break it down into its component parts. You look at the details, understand the structure, and identify any underlying assumptions. Next, evaluation. Here, you assess the credibility and relevance of the information. You ask questions like, is this source reliable? Does this argument hold up under scrutiny? Finally, synthesis. This is where you bring everything together. You combine different pieces of information, draw connections, and form a coherent conclusion. Critical thinking as a skill. Now, here's the crucial part: critical thinking is not something you're born with. It's a skill, and like any skill, it can be developed and improved over time. Think of it like building muscle. The more you exercise your brain with critical thinking exercises, the stronger and more efficient it becomes. As the psychologist Lev Vygotsky noted, learning is more than the acquisition of the ability to think. It is the acquisition of many specialized abilities for thinking about a variety of things. So, whether you're a student, a professional, or just someone looking to improve their decision-making, critical thinking is a skill you can and should cultivate. Real-life example. Let me give you a real-life example. Imagine you're a student preparing for a major exam. You have a mountain of information to go through. By applying critical thinking, you can break down the material into manageable chunks, evaluate which parts are most important, and synthesize the information into a coherent study plan. This not only makes your studying more effective but also helps you retain the information better. So, how do we start developing this skill? The first step is awareness. Recognize that critical thinking is a skill you can improve. The next step is practice. In the upcoming sections, we'll explore specific techniques and strategies to help you build your critical thinking muscles. Remember, as the writer and philosopher George Bernard Shaw, said, "The only way to learn anything is to be interested in it." So, let's stay curious and dive deeper into the world of critical thinking. Part 2. Understanding your thought patterns. Critical thinking begins with self-awareness. As the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates famously said, "Know thyself." This foundational principle is crucial because it emphasizes the importance of understanding your own thought processes. When you're aware of how you think, you can identify biases and patterns that might be influencing your decisions. Recognizing self-awareness as the foundation. Self-awareness is the cornerstone of critical thinking. It's about stepping back and examining your own thoughts and beliefs. This introspection allows you to recognize when you might be making assumptions or letting biases cloud your judgment. For example, have you ever found yourself making a snap decision based on a gut feeling, only to later realize that you hadn't considered all the facts? This happens to all of us, but with increased self-awareness, you can catch these moments and approach them with a more analytical mindset. Techniques for identifying biases and thought patterns. One effective way to enhance self-awareness is through mindfulness. Mindfulness involves paying close attention to your thoughts and feelings in the present moment without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, you can become more attuned to your internal dialogue and recognize when you're falling into habitual patterns of thinking. Another powerful tool is journaling. Writing down your thoughts and reflections can help you see your thought patterns more clearly. When you put your thoughts on paper, you create a tangible record that you can review and analyze. This practice can reveal recurring themes, biases, and areas where you might need to challenge your assumptions. Cognitive biases and their impact. Cognitive biases are systematic errors in thinking that can lead to distorted perceptions and poor decision-making. For instance, confirmation bias is the tendency to seek out information that confirms what you already believe while ignoring evidence to the contrary. This can be particularly problematic when you're trying to make an objective decision. Another common bias is the availability heuristic, where you make decisions based on the information that comes to mind most easily, rather than considering all relevant data. For example, if you hear a lot about a particular type of crime in the news, you might overestimate the likelihood of it happening to you. By recognizing these biases, you can take steps to mitigate their impact. When you're aware of your tendencies, you can consciously seek out diverse perspectives and information, ensuring a more balanced and informed decision-making process. Part 3. Logical reasoning and evidence-based thinking. Critical thinking is deeply intertwined with logical reasoning and evidence-based thinking. These skills enable you to construct and evaluate arguments effectively, ensuring that your conclusions are well supported and reliable. The power of logical reasoning. Logical reasoning is the process of using a rational, systematic series of steps based on sound mathematical procedures and given statements to arrive at a conclusion. As the philosopher and mathematician Bertrand Russell once said, "The whole problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, but wiser people so full of doubts." This quote highlights the importance of questioning and doubting, which are fundamental to logical reasoning. When you apply logical reasoning, you start with premises, statements that you believe to be true, and use them to reach a logical conclusion. For example, if all humans are mortal, premise 1, and Socrates is a human, premise 2, then Socrates is mortal, conclusion. This simple example illustrates how logical reasoning works. By ensuring that your premises are sound and your reasoning is valid, you can arrive at trustworthy conclusions. Cultivating curiosity, open-mindedness, and intellectual humility. To excel in logical reasoning, you need to cultivate certain qualities. Curiosity drives you to seek out new information and explore different perspectives. Open-mindedness allows you to consider ideas that challenge your existing beliefs. And intellectual humility reminds you that you don't have all the answers and that you can learn from others. Albert Einstein famously said, "The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing." This quote underscores the importance of maintaining a curious mindset. By staying curious, you remain engaged and eager to learn, which is essential for critical thinking. The value of diverse perspectives. Engaging with diverse perspectives is another crucial aspect of logical reasoning. When you expose yourself to different viewpoints, you gain a more comprehensive understanding of the issue at hand. This not only enriches your knowledge but also helps you identify potential flaws in your own arguments. For example, if you're debating a political issue, listening to people from different sides of the spectrum can provide you with insights that you might not have considered otherwise. By understanding the reasoning behind different positions, you can refine your own arguments and make more informed decisions. Part 4. Effective problem-solving techniques. Now that we've explored the foundations of critical thinking and the importance of logical reasoning, let's dive into practical techniques for effective problem-solving. This is where critical thinking really comes to life, helping you tackle challenges and find innovative solutions. Breaking down large problems. One of the most powerful strategies in problem-solving is breaking down large, complex problems into smaller, more manageable parts. As the saying goes, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. This approach not only makes the problem less daunting but also allows you to focus on specific aspects and address them systematically. For example, if you're working on a major project at work, start by identifying the key components and setting clear, achievable milestones. By breaking the project into smaller tasks, you can tackle each one with clarity and precision, ultimately leading to a successful completion of the entire project. Creative and brainstorming methods. Innovation often comes from thinking outside the box. Brainstorming is a fantastic technique for generating creative solutions. Gather a group of people with diverse backgrounds and perspectives, and encourage free-flowing ideas without immediate judgment. As the writer and philosopher Lin Yutong said, "The importance of creativity in problem-solving cannot be overstated." For instance, if you're trying to solve a marketing challenge, a brainstorming session might reveal unconventional ideas that could lead to a breakthrough campaign. Techniques like mind mapping can also be incredibly useful, allowing you to visually organize your thoughts and see connections that might not be apparent otherwise. Evaluating pros and cons. Another essential technique is evaluating the pros and cons of each potential solution. This method helps you weigh the benefits and drawbacks objectively, ensuring that you make a well-informed decision. Create a simple chart where you list the advantages and disadvantages of each option. This visual representation can provide clarity and help you identify the most viable solution. For example, if you're deciding between two job offers, listing the pros and cons can highlight which opportunity aligns better with your career goals and personal values. Part 5. Analyzing information and identifying fallacies. In our journey towards mastering critical thinking, it's essential to develop the ability to analyze information carefully and identify logical fallacies. This skill is crucial in a world where information is abundant but not always reliable. Understanding logical fallacies. Logical fallacies are errors in reasoning that undermine the validity of arguments. Recognizing these fallacies is a key aspect of critical thinking. As the philosopher Aristotle once said, "It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it." This means being able to examine ideas critically without immediately accepting them as true. Common logical fallacies. Let's look at some common fallacies and how to identify them. 1. Slippery slope. This fallacy suggests that a relatively small first step will inevitably lead to a chain of related events, without providing evidence for such a chain. For example, if we allow students to use calculators in exams, soon they will be unable to do any math without them. To counter this, always ask for evidence of the inevitability of the chain reaction. 2. Ad hominem. This fallacy involves attacking the person making the argument rather than addressing the argument itself. For instance, "You can't trust John's opinion on climate change because he's not a scientist." Instead, focus on the content of the argument rather than the person presenting it. 3. Appeal to authority. This fallacy occurs when an argument is deemed true simply because an authority figure believes it to be true. For example, "This diet must be effective because a famous doctor endorses it." Always seek evidence beyond the authority's endorsement. Distinguishing between fact and opinion. Another critical skill is distinguishing between fact and opinion. Facts are verifiable pieces of information, while opinions are subjective beliefs. As the journalist Walter Lippmann said, "The true test of a democracy is the capacity of its citizens to distinguish between fact and opinion. Always verify the sources of your information and look for multiple, reliable sources to confirm facts." Participating in debates can be a powerful way to sharpen your critical thinking skills. When you engage in a debate, you're forced to think on your feet, consider different viewpoints, and construct well-reasoned arguments. Remember, the goal of a debate is not to win an argument but to explore the truth. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, "There are no facts, only interpretations." Part 6. Effective Decision-Making Strategies. Now that we've explored how to analyze information and identify fallacies, let's turn our attention to effective decision-making strategies. These strategies will help you evaluate your choices more thoroughly and make decisions that align with your values and goals. Evaluating choices based on potential outcomes, risks, and personal values. One of the most effective ways to make decisions is to evaluate your choices based on their potential outcomes, associated risks, and how well they align with your personal values. As the management consultant Peter Drucker wisely said, "The best way to predict your future is to create it." This means taking a proactive approach to decision-making by carefully considering the long-term implications of your choices. Avoiding cognitive biases. To make truly informed decisions, it's crucial to avoid common cognitive biases. One such bias is the bandwagon effect, where people tend to do or believe something simply because many others do or believe it. To counter this, always seek diverse opinions and encourage open discussion. As the writer and philosopher George Orwell noted, "In a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act." By seeking the truth and considering multiple perspectives, you can avoid falling into the trap of groupthink. Techniques for effective decision-making. Let's look at some specific techniques that can support your decision-making process. 1. The 5 whys technique involves asking why 5 times to get to the root cause of a problem. This method, developed by Sakichi Toyota and used by Toyota Motors, helps uncover underlying issues that might not be immediately apparent. For example, if you're facing a problem at work, asking why repeatedly can help you identify the core issue and find a more effective solution. 2. The Eisenhower Matrix is a powerful tool for prioritizing tasks. It divides tasks into 4 categories based on their urgency and importance, helping you focus on what truly matters. By using this matrix, you can make more informed decisions about how to allocate your time and energy. Part 7. Building Mental Resilience. Critical thinking isn't just about analyzing problems and making decisions. It's also about having the mental resilience to navigate challenges and setbacks. Building mental resilience is crucial for personal growth and effective problem solving. The importance of mental resilience. Mental resilience is the ability to adapt and bounce back from adversity. As the psychologist Carl Rogers said, "The only way to grow is to face your problems and not run away." This means embracing challenges and using them as opportunities for growth. Developing a growth mindset. One key aspect of mental resilience is developing a growth mindset. This involves believing that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. As the psychologist Carol Dweck has shown, a growth mindset can lead to greater motivation and success. Embracing failure as a learning opportunity. Another important aspect of mental resilience is learning to embrace failure. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of the journey. As the entrepreneur and inventor Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." By viewing failures as learning opportunities, you can develop a stronger, more resilient mindset. Finally, having a strong support network is essential for maintaining mental resilience. Surround yourself with people who uplift and encourage you. As the writer and philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The only way to have a friend is to be one." By fostering positive relationships, you create a foundation of support that can help you through tough times. Part 8. Effective Communication and Critical Thinking. Critical thinking isn't just about what you think, it's also about how you communicate your thoughts. Effective communication is essential for sharing your ideas, solving problems collaboratively, and influencing others. As the philosopher and writer Voltaire said, "To hold a pen is to be at war." In this context, it means that your words have power, and using them wisely is crucial. Engaging in constructive dialogue. One of the most powerful ways to enhance your critical thinking through communication is by engaging in constructive dialogue. This involves listening actively, asking thoughtful questions, and responding in a way that promotes mutual understanding. As the philosopher Socrates demonstrated through his method of inquiry, asking the right questions can lead to deeper insights and more effective problem-solving. The Socratic method. The Socratic method is a form of inquiry and discussion between individuals, based on asking and answering questions to stimulate critical thinking and to illuminate ideas. For example, instead of making a statement, you might ask, "What do you think would happen if we implemented this idea?" This approach encourages deeper reflection and helps uncover assumptions that might otherwise go unexamined. Active listening and empathy. Active listening is another critical component of effective communication. It means fully focusing on the speaker, showing that you understand their perspective, and responding thoughtfully. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another, is also essential. As the writer and philosopher Dale Carnegie said, "You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you." By practicing active listening and empathy, you create an environment where everyone feels heard and valued. Encouraging open-mindedness. Encouraging open-mindedness in your communication is vital for critical thinking. This means being willing to consider different viewpoints and being open to changing your mind when presented with new evidence. As the philosopher John Stuart Mill said, "He who knows only his own side of the case knows little of that." By fostering an environment where diverse opinions are welcome, you can enhance your critical thinking and make better decisions. Part 9. Ethical reasoning and moral decision-making. Critical thinking extends beyond logical analysis and problem-solving. It also encompasses ethical reasoning and moral decision-making. In a world where complex ethical dilemmas are increasingly common, the ability to make morally sound decisions is more important than ever. The role of critical thinking in ethical decisions. Critical thinking plays a crucial role in ethical decision-making by helping you evaluate the moral implications of your choices. As the philosopher Immanuel Kant said, "Act only according to that maxim whereby you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law." This principle encourages us to consider the broader impact of our actions and to strive for consistency and fairness in our decisions. Avoiding moral relativism. While it's important to respect diverse perspectives, it's equally important to avoid moral relativism, the idea that moral principles are entirely subjective and vary from person to person. Critical thinking helps you navigate this balance by encouraging you to analyze ethical issues systematically and to consider multiple viewpoints without losing sight of fundamental moral principles. Systematic analysis for ethical decisions. To make ethical decisions, you need a systematic approach. Start by clearly defining the ethical issue at hand. What are the key moral questions involved? Next, gather relevant information and consider the potential consequences of different actions. Who will be affected, and how? For example, if you're faced with a decision at work that involves a potential conflict of interest, you might ask yourself, what are the ethical implications of this decision? How will it affect my colleagues, my company, and my own integrity? By systematically analyzing these questions, you can make a decision that aligns with your values and ethical principles. Seeking guidance and reflecting on values. Seeking guidance from trusted mentors, colleagues, or ethical frameworks can also be invaluable. Reflect on your own values and the values of your community. What principles do you hold dear, and how can you apply them to the situation at hand? As the writer and philosopher Maya Angelou said, "Do the best you can until you know better. Then do better." Part 10. Lifelong learning and continuous improvement. In our journey to master critical thinking, we must embrace the mindset of lifelong learning. The world is constantly changing, and staying ahead requires continuous growth and adaptation. As the philosopher Confucius said, "He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger." This quote underscores the importance of combining learning with critical reflection. The importance of deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is essential for improving your critical thinking skills. This involves setting specific goals, seeking out challenging tasks, and actively reflecting on your performance. For example, if you want to improve your analytical skills, you might set a goal to read and analyze one complex article or book chapter each week. After reading, take time to reflect on what you've learned and how you can apply it. Cultivating curiosity and a thirst for knowledge. Curiosity is the driving force behind lifelong learning. It pushes you to explore new ideas, ask questions, and seek out knowledge. As the writer and philosopher George Eliot said, "It is never too late to be what you might have been." This means that no matter where you are in life, you can always strive to learn and grow. Adapting to modern challenges. In today's rapidly changing world, the ability to adapt is crucial. Critical thinking helps you navigate new technologies, shifting social norms, and emerging challenges. By staying informed and open-minded, you can respond effectively to change. For example, the rise of artificial intelligence and automation requires us to think critically about how these technologies will impact our lives and careers. The role of critical thinkers in society. Critical thinkers play a vital role in addressing modern challenges. They are the ones who question assumptions, seek evidence, and propose innovative solutions. As the writer and philosopher Aldous Huxley said, "Facts do not cease to exist because they are ignored." By paying attention to the facts and thinking critically, you can contribute to a more informed and resilient society. We've covered a lot of ground in this video, from understanding the foundations of critical thinking to applying it in various aspects of our lives. Now let's wrap up with some final important thoughts. Critical thinking is a powerful tool that can transform your life. It's not just about solving problems or making decisions, it's about how you approach every aspect of your life. As the philosopher and writer Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be." This means that your mindset and your approach to thinking can shape your entire life. To continue your journey in critical thinking, here are a few practical steps. 1. Keep practicing. Like any skill, critical thinking improves with practice. Set aside time each day to engage in activities that challenge your mind, such as reading, writing, or discussing complex topics. 2. Seek feedback. Don't be afraid to ask others for their thoughts on your reasoning. Constructive criticism can provide valuable insights and help you improve. 3. Stay curious. Never stop asking questions. The more you seek to understand, the more you'll grow. Remember, critical thinking is a journey, not a destination. It's about continuous improvement and a commitment to learning. As the writer and philosopher Maya Angelou said, "Do the best you can until you know better. Then do better." This means that every step you take, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. In conclusion, critical thinking is a skill that can empower you to navigate the complexities of life with confidence and clarity. It's about making informed decisions, solving problems effectively, and continuously growing. We hope this video has given you the tools and inspiration to embark on this journey and make critical thinking a part of your everyday life. Thank you very much for watching, and remember to like, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Life for more content on personal growth and development. Here's to your continued success and growth.